emails. I don't know whether the team has had emails as well. I'll put the recording on now. We've had, yeah, okay. Well, let me just put the recording on, and then we can start. All right. Oh, the recording has already started. Who started it for me? Thank you very much.
I started it because yesterday we only recorded the second half of it. So
okay.
Lesson learned.
Oh my goody aunt, yeah. All right, so welcome. This is M1. I said robotics M1, and this is the third session in our live online learning sessions for this M1 in May of 2024. And we've added a third day to it, just to unpack what the challenge is. And so, because we realize that there are quite a few newcomers to robotics, and we embrace you, and we thank you for your participation, and we want to walk a journey with you. We would love to have you with your teams coming, doing M1 and M2 and M3, where the virtual gear competition is, and then we've got a environmental sciences challenge, and then maybe to come and do some regional competitions, some robotics competitions, which is what we're at. We would love to. This is a community of practice, and I notice on the call are some coaches with years of experience, and there are some that are really new to it, but you're all very welcome, and we will learn from each other as we go along. Okay. I actually think maybe one day we should have a poll just to say where everybody is on this meeting. Tumelo, I think we need to do that for the next session. Then we can understand where everybody's coming from, which province they're coming from. All right. So let me just start by sharing my screen. There we go. And I'm going to start here. All right, by saying, and my dogs always make a noise when I start recording. Come, dogs. Come. All right. So the question was, where do we find, Tumelo, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So where is the document visible available that we're going to do? So it's up here. It's the M1 assessment document. And you download it, and there you'll find your challenge. So when you get to this point, we are assuming you've done Unit 1. You've looked there at the overview document. You've looked at the overview document. You've looked at the learning. You've looked at the objectives. You've done at least some of the activities for Unit 1, and you've done the MCQ. And similarly for Unit 2, you've read the document. You've looked at the objectives. You've done some of the activities, and you've done the Unit 2 MCQ. And Unit 3, similar, and Unit 4. So when you come now, so those are all called formative assessments. What we come to now is the summative assessment, kind of the thing that you need to wrap it all up, where you need to apply everything that you've learned. And you're going to look at the challenge, then you're going to solve the problem, you're going to make a video, and that video you're going to either upload on YouTube or Google Drive, but you need to make the URL available, and you're going to put the URL there on the forums, and I'm going to get back to that now. Okay, and then if you get a mark higher than 50%, you may put in a request for a certificate, and then you have completed M1. All right, so I'm just going to show you what the thing looks like. Just a minute here. Just going to close this. Can you see my screen, Tumelo?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is the M1 assessment for 2024 for this year, and it lays it out in kind of in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So you've attempted each of the MCQ quizzes at least once. You can go more than once, and you can up your marks. We always take the highest score. And then you've attempted at least one of the activities in each unit, and then you've completed all the units. So now you come to the M1 challenge. So after Unit 4, you come to the M1 challenge. I'm going to make this a little larger so that everybody can see. There we go. All right. So you have to, once you've completed all 4 units, you need to attempt the M1 challenge. Okay, and I'm going to go to the details now. No documents must be uploaded, so only the URL of the video. My word. All right, so I would suggest that, and we're going to do this now, we're going to read through all the missions. And you can set up your challenge field, as I explained just now to Brett. You can either print it on vinyl, you can go to Business Point and print it on vinyl, or you can tape it out with insulation tape, that's also fine. I think the important thing is that you understand what the robot has to do. Okay, so for M1, you have to identify a mission, one of the missions that requires a passive attachment. Okay, you've got to complete the passive attachment, you've got to build it, and then you've got to program and attach it obviously to the robot, and then you've got to program what is required. Obviously, you need to test the mission, and then you make a video to show your successful mission. And I would prefer that there's narration in the videos to show the details of your passive attachment and tell us about your programming. And then you can also explain to us what mission you'll be attempting next. Okay, and you submit that on the forums portal of the MOOC. All right. And then here is your reflection. We would like you to have an evaluation form, and you can get your certificate by applying on this form here for your certificate. Now, just one thing. The details on this certificate is what you typed in. And that is what it's going to generate a certificate for you. So if you make a mistake and you spell your own name incorrectly, or you give me the wrong ID number, there's nothing I can do about that. All right, it's system generated. So best you just check that the spelling is correct. Also make sure that the email is correct so we can email it to the correct address. Okay, so this is the challenge. Okay, this and only this is the challenge. All right, it's a block with a little block inside, and it's got a yellow line, a blue line, a red line, and a green line. And I'm seeing some of the submissions are already attempting the color sensors, which is not actually on M1, but well done to you who figure that out. All right, so there is the mat. So the sides, the outer boundary is 105 by 105, and the inside is 35 by 35. Okay, give or take. All right, then there's some of the rules, and so these rules are the constraints of what you're going to do. All right, the robot may not be bigger than 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So if I put a box of 30 centimeters over your robot, when it starts, all right, when it starts, it must fit into that. All right, and at competitions, it's a bit more stricter. Even if you have a powered attachment, which I'm going to teach you in M2, that also has to be folded back up, and it has to be within the 30 centimeter constraint. Okay. Then the robot must use a color sensor to follow the line. So that is one of the rules, but now you'll find out it's not actually applicable to the M1 challenge. Okay. And then we've got 3 paper or polystyrene cups and a box of biscuits. And we always say the box of biscuits is for the coach. And then we've got an empty plastic bottle because water and robotics don't mix at all. And then a packet of individually wrapped toffees or sweets. And I'll tell you why. It's because you keep handling those sweets and they don't have wrappers. Your hands get sticky. Okay. All right. So to start, you've got to place the empty water bottle on the mark, and you place the box of biscuits also on the mark. All right. Now we're going to go through the missions one by one. Okay. And you tell me, and maybe you can unmute if you want to put up your hand. Tumelo and Anzani, you can just monitor the lobby or the hands going up. Okay, so the first one is clear the sweets. You've got the 10 toffees, and you've got the yellow line and the blue line. It says clear the way of the toffees and sweets. Okay, so is that a powered attachment or a passive attachment? Are there any hands, Tumelo? Anybody?
Passive attachment.
Thank you, Almarie. Is there anybody else in the room there with you?
All right,
Yes,
I was busy on the poll.
there we go.
We've got Smith. Yes, Smith, I've enabled your microphone. Go ahead.
Okay, it's enemy. It's a passive attachment. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Okay. And if you want to, you're correct. It's a passive attachment. So you're going to attach it on the front of your robot. Now you've got 10 toffees. So you can either have a bumper, a flat bumper, which is fine, or you can do, it says just clear the way. So you can also do something like this, which gathers it up, or you can do a plow, which goes through the toffees, because then you are still clearing the way. Well done. All right. What won't happen is if you have the little robot and you have a little attachment in front of it and you push, because then what is going to happen to the sweets on the side? All right. So you'll need to have so you'll see you're already busy with your design ideas. It's got to go wide. It's got to go the whole width of that block. It must clear the way. All right. Because if you're only aiming at the few sweets, it's not going to clear the way. All right. So there we've got passive attachment. So we can type in here, this is definitely an option. This one, we can do that. All right. A passive attachment. Great. All right. Now we go to the next one. The blue line. The robot must start on the X and stop at the blue line with a color sensor. Is that a passive attachment? No, it's a sensor, so we can't do that one. All right. And similarly, find the red line. It must start at the X and stop at the red line. I know some submissions say red. It tells you what color you've just detected, which is great. But that is also not a passive attachment. All right. Green, the robot must start at the X and stop at the green line. The robot must use a color sensor. Is that a passive attachment? No. So that's not what we're going to do. All right, here we're going to go moving cups. Place the cups on the 3 marked spots by hand and place the robot in the center square. So that's important. Okay. In one launch, so in one move, the robot must move all 3 cups off their marks. Okay. So your robot has to be in the middle. And in one move, the robot has to move all 3 cups off their mark. Okay. So it must, and there was some submissions where it goes, it's got an attachment, and it is going out. But that's not passive, you see. All right. If you're going to throw it out like that, that's a powered attachment, unless you just jerk it. Okay, when there must be no motor attached to it. So in one launch, the robot must move all 3 cups off their marks. Okay, but the robot's wheel may not touch the black lines. However, the attachments and projectiles may cross the black line. And the robot and the attachment still fit into the size limit at the beginning. So at the beginning of your mission, it must all still fit into there. Okay. All right. So you cannot go around and knock off the cups off the thing, because that's not what the rule says. It has to be in the center square, and the robot may not leave the center square. Now this could be, I'm gonna put it as a yellow. It could be a passive attachment as long as there's no motors attached. All right. So if you have an attachment, and as you jerk forward, it unfolds. That could work. I think there was one that submitted that. And then you just turn the robot and you knock all 3 off. That's possible. All right. But it has to be in the center. All right. So that's a possible one for a passive attachment. All right. Where's my little scroller? Here we go. Okay. So touch the bottle. You must place the empty bottle to the left of the yellow line and the box of biscuits on the yellow line. The box must start at X, the robot must start at X and move all the way to touch the bottle. However, the rule says it must use line follow. Does anybody, I don't see any passive attachment here. All right. Okay, that's not going to work. That's not a passive attachment. All right, here, empty the bottle. The yellow line, the robot starts facing away the yellow line. The robots must move the bottle and the biscuit so they're touching X. Oh, that could be a passive attachment, because you have, but now you're going to have the bottle and the biscuit. So you have to make sure you don't lose any of your cargo. Okay, so that could be a passive attachment. All right. It'll have to be a little bit bigger than the sweets. Okay. But there's a line follow as well. You won't be able to do that one. All right. But if you tried it, kudos to you. All right. Okay. These bonus missions. The sweet cups, you stick all 3 sweet cups in your place with press stick. I'll tell you why we did that. It's because when we started throwing sweets, the cups kept falling over. So you must put all 3 cups in their positions. And the robot must get as many toffees or sweets into the cup without leaving the X and within a minute. All right. So it's quite far. All right. And it may not leave X. And it's how many you can do in a minute. So that, I think, to throw the sweet, that's more a powered attachment. So I would say this one is, I'm going to type in here next to it. This is definitely a powered attachment. Okay. Because you can almost like have a trebuchet thing, which we're going to do next 2 weeks' time. Okay. And then around the block, the robot must move in a square block from X back to X and stay between the black lines. The robot must drive over the color, all 4 color lines, and then we measure how long it takes. All right. And that's the end. So there's your scoring. There's your scoring thing. And a really cool thing is to take this, print this, and then see how you progress as you go along. All right. I'm going to now stop sharing for now. Are there any, oops, cancel. Are there any questions before I continue?
We have a question from Matthew.
Yes, Matthew. Hi.
I was just wondering, I can't remember which mission it was, but it was one using a passive attachment. Or actually, it was meant to be an passive attachment. And I was wondering if with the size limit, if you had somehow, if you used momentum to launch the passive attachment out, but you couldn't use momentum to launch it back in by the end of the mission. So when it launches out and it breaks the 30 by 30 by 30 size, does it have to return to the 30 by 30 by 30 size?
No, that'll be fine. As long as when it starts, it's in the space. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Have you got a momentum idea for an arm?
Yeah. I thought somehow making the arm a little weaker so it can launch out, because you obviously want to avoid that momentum launch, but in that case it would be kind of useful. And I just imagine the kids asking a question regarding the size at the start versus at the finish.
Yeah, I can also Matthew, just tell you that size is very important when it comes to competition robots. And in World Robot Olympiad, even more so. They actually have a Perspex box. And I have seen teams being sent back to change their robots because it is not into sizes. Yeah. So
I thought, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to create good habits here.
No, I thought like an awesome starting activity when I saw the mission immediately would be to get the kids to create like a paper 3D box, the size, that's the limit.
Yeah.
And that way they have to collaborate. It takes a bit of time. It's not the easiest thing, especially if it's like 30 by 30 by 30. You're going to have to cut paper, put it together.
Yes.
And then that box is always there at this for the rest of the mission. Yeah.
Perfect. If you can do that, that'd be amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. And then, of course, you're going to have to decorate it, change the color. Excellent. Yeah. And it's amazing. Sometimes I don't like to show learners the solution, like examples of how it is solved, because it kind of frames your thinking. Put it there and say, how would you get rid of this without using the verbs, like whack it out but there are so many opportunities to get the cups out the way from the center. Yeah. And throwing as well. Absolutely. All right. Anybody else? But any questions? It's got to be a lot of fun as well. So and celebrate when the students actually get it right. It's an amazing thing. With passive attachments, if you just show them kind of what you want, and they've got to design it, that's also an opportunity. And I have one coach who is very pedantic about color coding. And so, if you have red sides, it must be, it must be all color coded in the same size. And otherwise they just build all their makar, which is also fine. Color doesn't affect the function of it. All right. Okay, anybody else? We are very quiet today. Okay, then let me put my last piece of my presentation up. I'm just going to share my screen. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right. So when you've done your video, And the idea of the video is really that we can see what your robot does. It's not to capture everybody's faces. And so we're asking you to really capture what the robot is doing, which is really important for us. So if you go onto forums, over here, let me just give you another access view on here so it doesn't show. All right. So here is the unit. There's the M1 MOOC challenge. Okay. And there you've got to submit your URL. Okay. And so what you do is you just add it. You submit it here. There, please submit the URL and then you add it here. Okay. And you put it in. I see we've got some new ones already. Wow. That was quick. All right. And so I'll show you maybe, let me see with one. You're welcome to see other people's, Jason, I don't think Jason will mind. Okay, so there he's got his challenge, follow my challenge video, and there's the YouTube channel link, and then the markers, click on it and grade it. Okay, and that's where it is. You are welcome to resubmit as well if you want to improve on your robot and you want to improve on the challenge. But really, M1 is passive attachments. It's the whole thing about passive attachments and how do you design and create a passive attachment. And then M2, which we're going to do in 2 weeks' time, is then about the color sensor and about a powered attachment. So really, if you can focus on that and bring it up initially in your videos, that does help. All right. And add some wording, add some narration as well, so that we understand that you understand what you're doing. It makes it just easy for us as markers. All right. That's where you submit it. And then when you're finished, I've just put on a notice an announcement. We'd love to hear your feedback. So please go to the post MOOC evaluation and just tell us what your experience was. Really appreciate it. We are quite graciously accepting comments, and we'd like to carry on improving the offering that we have for you guys. All right. That's the end of my stop sharing. Now I need to open the floor for any questions. Are there any questions about the challenge? Is anything unclear? All right. Anybody want to ask any questions? Are we having a short session today? No. Tumelo, any questions from your side?
No questions from my side.
No questions.
Okay, I see now there's a hand because my voice was. Okay, Maku, your microphone has been enabled. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Dr. Gous and everybody else. I'm just wondering out of curiosity, what is the difference between M1, M2, and M3? Do they get progressively more advanced with every level you go up? So there's going to be, for example, more programming, more requirements that you have to meet and stuff like that.
Yes, yes. So Marco, quite correctly. So M1 is really an introduction to building the chassis, the robot chassis, and the programming environment. And then we did how do you do problem solving, and we apply that to the process of navigation of your robot. And then we also did in Unit 4 was then passive attachments. And passive attachments are really no motor, no programming attachments. And very, I can't say no gearing, because there are some really cool passive attachments that do have gearing. And I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should include that as well somewhere along the line. Okay. And then M2, we have a basic robot. We have straightforward programming. Then when we move on to M2, we do form and function. So the function we upgrade by introducing decisions and looping. And the data that we use from the environment is then connected by sensors. So we introduce sensors as well. So those are the first 2 units. And then the form of the robot we change by adding powered attachments. And then to make it more effective and efficient, we do gearing. All right, so that's number 2. Then with number M3, now we start working out a strategy. So can we do 2 missions at once? Can we, for the same number of, or for less seconds, can we get more points? And so a team needs to really consider what are all the things a robot needs to do, and we've got constraints, we've got specifications, we've got requirements, and how do we within, and there's always a toss-up between time and points. All right, and so that's where the strategy comes in. And then just to see that everything can be applied, there is a M3 challenge, and that's the virtual gear competition, all wrapped up. Yes, it's the start. Marco, welcome to this community of practice. All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
We also have a handout from Mukite. How do I pronounce your name?
No, it's Mukiti, not Mukete.
Sorry, Mukite. Sorry.
Thank you, Dad. I'm wondering now, because some of us, particularly from Lesotho, we don't have the robots. So looking at the video that we have to do or upload,
Yes.
I'm wondering how we are going to go about this one, because for some of us, we thought maybe it would be something like a written examination of some sort, like the quizzes in each and every unit. Now that we have, I even myself applied for certificate after unit 1. I thought you're going to have the certificate for each and every unit. And right now I'm aware that, okay, fine, it's definitely after the whole M1. Now, how are you going to assist us? Because most of us in Lesotho don't have the robot. And I'm looking at the numbers of the people who are not attending, and I'm feeling like maybe people are feeling like maybe we can't even do this thing because we don't the robots as of yet. So,
Makiti,
I don't know how you can help us. Thank you very much.
Makiti, you stay in this class, see? You stay in the class. You've got to learn, all right? So
Okay.
I know that Lesotho is hosting their first robotics competition on the 28th of September. All right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I also know that there are Spike Primes on order. Okay.
Yes, for some
Lesotho.
schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I would say just complete all 4 MCQs or multiple choice quizzes, and then as soon as you get your robotics kits, then you can do the M1 challenge. All right.
Okay.
But I do know that there's movement there, that the Spike Primes have been ordered.
That will only be then when we'll be able to apply for the certificate, right?
Yes. Unless you come visit us. Unless you come visit us here in Joburg.
Okay. Thank you.
The other, Makiti, the other really thing is we live in different countries, and these 2 countries have decided on taxes. So we can't even just bring our robotics kits in to Lesotho just to come and demonstrate and then take them out again. I tell you, it's it's a challenge. It just is a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the information.
I will see you in September. I will volunteer to come and help you in September. I will see you there. All right.
That'll be lovely.
I must just, Makiti and all the people from Lesotho, I really need to say well done to all of you. I know we've been working very hard with Lesotho. You had an expo, I think it was March, am I right? I think you had an expo there, and you did some really good practical robotic stuff in Lesotho. And so the plan is that all the Lesotho coaches, you're welcome, are here for M1 and M2 next month, and then M3 we're going to do it in July. And then in theory, you are going to be ready for the submerged theme, which is launching in August. And so the exciting part for Lesotho is that you will have a team at the international competition, the Africa Open competition in May of next year. So there's a lot of work ahead of you. Yeah, stay close. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Tumelo, those all the questions?
So far, yes, but I've got a way of encouraging people to be part of us. Number one, I wanted to say to Mukiti that whenever he has his robotics sets coming up, he shouldn't hesitate to email us
Okay.
so that we can at least help him on how to work on the basics of the robot. And then number two, I also saw Mrs. Venter. She's been very helpful on the lobby, as always. She said one does not have to submit M1 before attending M2 and M3. Just have to
Okay.
hand in all three at the end before applying for a certificate.
Cool.
And so in actual, this means that it is encouraged for our participants to not panic. They must just do one MOOC at a time.
Yeah.
So that they don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then I see Matthew on the chat says, what is the due date for submitting the video? We have exams now, so it's difficult to get time. And I see that you indicated that this is up until New Year's Eve of 2024.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that anybody's going to mark it on the 31st, though.
Yeah.
Matthew.
And then another trick for our participants is that they should note that our our massive open online courses, particularly the M1, it's tailor-made for them. It does not require you to immediately submit it right away. It will require you to do it per pace, but there's a trick to this. Every Fridays, we're hosting a question and answer session whereby I go along with you. For example, for those of you who are new, you can join the session on a Friday afternoon. And then I can also tell you that, okay, with this one, since you are on unit 1 and you might have challenges here, this is how you can overcome the challenges. Now you need to proceed to unit 2, and then we can meet up again next week. And then if you do have questions during the course of the week, you send in an email, then we can schedule a one-on-one meeting, and then we take it from there.
Perfect.
All right. I did post a poll as you were presenting.
Yes. And what does it look like?
So I asked which, wait. It's a provincial one. You asked that I asked where are people, which province are they from? And I saw that majority are from Gauteng. We have one in Western Cape.
Yeah.
One again in Eastern Cape, but I see people did not edit their responses. Kindly please do so.
Okay.
I also asked in terms of the MOOCs, but most of them, they are currently busy with M1, which is good.
Okay.
And please, ladies and gents, don't be afraid. This M1 is not complicated as you think. It just requires you to have a robotics kit. And with your robotics kit, you will be able to complete such. And another suggestion, Dr. Host, I'm thinking that perhaps on another session, maybe we can focus more into Spark Prime or have both. I have a Spark Prime and an EV3, and then we speak more about the programming styles. But it's still the same, but I think maybe for some that might be having new Spark Primes as well.
Okay. All right. Is there anybody that wants specific programming questions?
And then I see Tate Mukiti from Lesotho. He indicates that can we use Arduino robots for videos if we already have them?
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I just don't know how you're going to build the attachment, but maybe you must make something out of something else. Fine.
Right. And then can I perhaps take this opportunity to ask questions for those that have already registered for the M1? How far are they? What are the challenges that are experiencing? How may we help?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, just raise your hand. Or if you don't have any challenges, just tell us how is your journey so that you can encourage others who might feel otherwise. And again, if there is someone, and I know that there might be that person who is confused, who does not know what's happening, please raise your hand. We are here to help. All right, I see there's a question.
What's the question?
When are you gonna have another first-timer session due to the June exams? It was difficult to log in. Would have loved to be part of this. So I suggest that you send an email and then we'll take it from there. The email address is on the chat.
Just the recordings will go up onto the iSet YouTube channel as well, so that you can watch the recordings.
All right. All right, now I'm getting hands now. Oh,
There we go.
there's no hand.
No.
I thought there was a hand. Okay, it seems like everyone is happy and everything is going well. So, yeah.
Okay. So really that little robot has got to have a nice big attachment, and it's got to go so many rotations to clear the path, and then it's got, that's the first one. But you've just got to design the passive attachment. Okay.
All right, I see Moyani's hand is up. Go for it. Your microphone has been enabled, Moyani.
No.
And while they are still struggling to open their microphone, I see that William says that I am already busy with my M1 and I'm left only with the challenge, which is very good. Well done.
Cool. Yeah, just on that, Tumelo, what you were saying, it's exam time. We're very aware of the exam time, but there's a holidays, and you can do the holiday program. So you can do M1 and M2 are all done, and then in the holidays, when you have nothing else to do, you can do your challenges for M1 and M2. Okay. Okay.
All right, Munyani, you can unmute yourself. Your microphone has been enabled. Munyani.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
100%, yes.
Okay, I'm confused because I've been trying to log in, but my connections seem to be a problem. So actually, I'm a bit lost. For us as starters, where can we start? We start with the kit, like you said, and from there, where do we go? That's my confusion.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear.
Munyani, do you have access to the massive open online course portal?
No, I don't have access.
Okay. Tumelo, can you just guide us through that process quickly? Thank you.
All right, Ntate Munyani, please keep your microphone on. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you, just the network or the connection.
Can you see my screen, Tate Munyani?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So what you do, you simply go to Google and then you type MOOC UNISA. And then this will be your homepage.
Yes.
All right. And then another thing, for those of you who will also be watching the recording, please note that the UNISA Open Online free online courses is free of charge. It doesn't require you to have any previous qualification. It doesn't require you to have a qualification with UNISA. It doesn't require you to pay application fees or any other thing. It does not require you to have a student number, nothing at all. So please share the information with others. And all right, so first things first, what we do, we focus on the UNISA logo. Underneath the UNISA logo, there's a new account. And then where it says user ID, you can simply say Munyani123 as your user identification. And then on your first name, you just put in your full first names, your last name, your email address. Please ensure that your email address that you are going to include here is the email address that we are going to send you a certificate on. And then you create your password. And then once you're done, please make sure that you take care of your personal details there. Just make sure that you will be able to capture your user ID, your email address, as well as your password, because most of the participants, what we have noted is that they forget their user IDs. So please ensure that you do not just create an account without capturing your details. Once you are done, you're going to be required to, you will be logged in, and this will be the first page that you're going to see. Underneath the UNISA logo, there'll be the membership tab. Are you still with me, Ntate Monyane? Okay, I think we lost him. Are you still there, Ntate Monyane? All right, I think we lost Ntate Monyane.
He's still on the call though.
I see. I think he's experiencing some technical issues on his side. So what I'll encourage Ntate Monyane is that he can send an email, and then I can guide him. We can schedule a meeting, then I can guide him. Or I can send him an email that will make sure that he understands what to do, what is required.
I think that might be a good idea, Tamila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'll stop sharing my screen for now. If we do have any...
Maybe just also here, is there anybody else on the call that needs some more information on how to access the content? You can just raise your hand.
In the comments, there's actually someone who said they're benefiting from this, so please continue.
They didn't say please continue, Mrs. Fender. They are just saying...
No, the please continue is from our side.
Yeah, they are just saying I'm also benefiting from this introduction. They didn't say... should I continue on this?
Yeah, continue. That's a bit. Continue as a bit.
All right.
Doing it so well, Tamela.
Okay, so once you are done filling in your details after creating your account, you'll go to the membership tab, which is underneath the UNISA logo. Then you click on membership. Once you click on membership there, on your side, it will appear like this, and then it will say you have not registered for any course yet. And then what you do, you come here on joinable sites. Here on the joinable sites tab, once you click on it, underneath there are different types of courses that the university offers. But for the purposes of this, we'll focus on ISET robotics. What you do, just follow my cursor here. You simply click there and then you type ISET robotics. And then you click on search. Once you click on search, you'll find ISET robotics M1, M2, and M3 appearing below. And then you will click on the first one, which will be ISET robotics M1. Once we click on join, it will appear on top and it will appear as well as here when you click on my current sites, the way it appears on my site. And then you simply click on it. Once you click on it, this will be your page, the first page that you see. For you to not get confused when you have started with this course, number one, under the UNISA logo, there are different tabs. And on these tabs, it's different information as you click. For example, on the overview, this is what you'll find on the overview tab. On the honor code, there's information as well there. On syllabus, there's information, announcements. So there's a reason why these tabs are there and why these units are here, so that you can understand what is required of you, because we understand that it's your first time. We don't want to put pressure on you. So it is encouraged for you to take everything one step at a time, knowing that when you start completing unit 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will understand how to submit your M1 challenge, as well as when to get your results. I hope I was clear, and this is our email address once again. Please make use of this email address and we'll definitely attend to your questions. Any other question?
No hands, Tamela, no hands. Let's just check on the chat quickly. Just check on the chat quickly.
I see saying where are the resources found. So as I've indicated, you're saying thank you. The resources are found here on the syllabus tab. So once you click on the syllabus tab here, you'll find a variety of resources. This is the first document that has the most information, followed by the presentation PDFs, the unit 1 lesson plans up until unit 4. So
those lesson plans you can download and use when you teach in your class.
Correct, yes.
Perfect.
And they are here. So yeah, I think this is it for now. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? I think we are done. It seems like it's a happy, almost at Friday, a happy Thursday.
It's nearly happy Friday. Nearly.
We are quarter to Friday. It's
one
of those.
Close by, but it's been a good week.
All
It's been a hectic week and it's been a good week, and next week's looking even more promising. So it's good. All right. I don't see anybody more in the chat, and there's nobody with their hands up. I think, Tamela, we're done for the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, much appreciated for your time. Thank you so much for being part of this session. We really appreciate you. And this is one of the last sessions for this month. And
no, next week.
We have another session next week. Yes, you are right.
Yes.
You are right. Sorry.
But we just
have
an election day in between.
There we go. You see, people are here now. Okay, I thought I was alone in here. Yes. I'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
For those that are watching the recording, thank you also for taking the time. Please don't hesitate to send us an email, and then we'll definitely attend to you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. See you on Tuesday we're doing robotics resources, and then